everybody, welcome in and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute since we have posted anything. A lot's been going on. Moved across the country, then actually ended up buying a house, and so getting all of that done. So there was a lot kind of going on that stopped me, but we are back. So we are starting off with a new series. I know last time I was doing the career mode of Planet Coaster, and that was fun, but I felt like I kind of was just doing a lot of the same things. It was kind of frustrating me because they already had things set there that I had to also work with. So I decided that I really wanted to go ahead and just jump into building my own park, getting everything, doing the things that I want to do, and creating something. So I know we just got update 10 as well as the parade pack, so I'm super excited to use those. I know I definitely am going to be using the small town like theme as our kind of main entrance, and then I plan to have a parade go through the main entrance as well, and also using that trolley. The trolley is probably my favorite part of it, honestly. I really think that's going to add a really cool aesthetic to it. I'm actually going to incorporate that in kind of the main entrance that we're going to start building. So today's episode mainly is going to be setting up kind of our main entrance. I really want to create that kind of full grand entrance that you see whenever you go to theme parks. So like Disney or Universal, where the entrance is also part of the park, instead of just creating a little parking lot and then creating that entrance to your actual park. So that's what we're really going to work on today. I did go in and I went and cleared all the trees out. I'm going to kind of just clear land as I need to, so flattening things as I need to, because I want to incorporate some of the rocks and the formations, especially if we go into like the western area, things like that. But right now we're really just worried about that kind of front entrance. So my kind of idea for this is to create like a bus stop. So we're actually going to make a full bus stop and then create kind of that entrance that opens up into where you buy your tickets and things like that. And then that will kind of go into the actual main street that we're gonna have. So right now, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm kind of just getting the pathway set up for where we're gonna be. It did not work the first time. I didn't look at where the line on the border was, so I did have to restart on setting that up. But the next time works perfectly. So that's what we're working on right now. Learned to go through and flatten the land after trial and error. Not gonna lie, I tried recording a video 3 times and the land was always the issue. So made sure that the entire land is flat, but I really want to create this kind of bus stop where multiple buses can drop off, create kind of a bus stop where also people can get on. So we'll add some seating in there, and then we'll kind of create the pathways up to the main entrance. On this, I did want to go a little in on the detail. I'm still kind of learning the whole creativity side of Planet Coaster, but it's going to be fun to kind of learn and make things from scratch that aren't necessarily things that everybody's going to use. Now I am going to use some pre-built prefabs in this part as far as like awnings, things like that. But we're really going to try to do our own design with what we're going for. So want to have like the bus stops, and then I also want to kind of have like a road. I have kind of an image in my head of what we're going for. Obviously I have to make some tweaks as we go, because it doesn't always fit. I do wish there was a way to create like a runoff to make it seem like it comes from an actual road. Um, I haven't been able to figure that out to where it looks smooth at least, but it is what it is. We'll just kind of create this as the bus stop. Um, so right now, just kind of going in and creating that layout of what we want. In a moment, we'll actually go in and add in details to just give it a little bit more of a realistic look. I do like the pathing tools. I played a little bit of Planet Coaster 1, and I definitely see the improvements in Planet Coaster 2. It's so much easier to play around with, changing textures, kind of your paths, making those look a little bit nicer. So I'm definitely loving it. But gonna go in and just make sure it all looks cohesive in what we're doing. And I wanted to make sure that little strip in the center, that's going to be kind of our bus stop area, where we'll have a gazebo as well as we'll add some seating in later. I'm going to do, with this, I want to create kind of a base for us to start out with. But I think it is going to be something that we'll have to come back to really finish out, because I don't want to run out of money also. I know a lot of people, they do the sandbox mode and have unlimited money, which I think is awesome for like creating things. I did want to kind of keep the financial aspect of it and like making sure I have things running the right way, smoothly, everything. So I do have it as a challenge park. That way I still can kind of have the freedom of what I'm doing, but also like be able to do the research and be able to make sure I'm making money in certain ways. So I really wanted to make sure that it's staying somewhat authentic. So I've got kind of the layout going right now. So that's the layout we're gonna stick with. So now just going in and adding some of those extra details that I was talking about. So I really wanted to add like a crosswalk, make it seem like you needed to kind of walk across that, which now kind of looking back at it, really didn't need it because the path isn't going across there, but it is what it is. Just to add a little extra detail in it. All that kind of grass in between is gonna we're just gonna add some brush in there, kind of make it look fancy and nice. So do the crosswalk, and then we'll obviously mirror this on the other side. And then we'll go in and kind of just create the bus stop, make it look like buses are actually supposed to park there. The scaling tool, probably one of my favorites because you can really adjust the way things fit. Like typically this would not be possible if we didn't have a scaling tool, or it would look really, really awkward. So I really love that feature in this. And then I did put them a little too close. I still think they're a little close afterwards, but it's what it is. We can maybe go in and tweak that down the road, but I think it looks really good. And then I wanted to create kind of that road look, so just took some normal sized walls, buried those in the ground, and then just made the lines. Nothing too crazy on that. I did think about trying to do the corner, and that did not work. It didn't round like I wanted it to, and I didn't even think to go and see if there's a rounded one, but I felt like just what I had right there worked perfectly fine. I felt like that was good enough to kind of give that just feel of what we're going for. I know whenever I deleted all of the entrances, there was a bunch of people off to the side. I don't know if they're still there. Yeah, it looks like they're still there. I see the shadow of them. Yeah, they're still hanging out, frozen in time. But once we put the buses back, then that should kind of fix itself, hopefully. So here we're going into the actual bus lanes that I wanted to set up for us. So just want to create kind of these individual lanes that our buses are gonna park in. I kind of want to give it that more realistic vibe, because at a real park you need a bus lane or like a trolley stop, something like that. So I thought this was kind of a cool little touch. So just gonna create those, duplicate that across all four of those little areas. Okay. And I think I'm gonna go in that path along the back side. I think I'm actually gonna go change to the walking path. Just kind of looking at it afterwards, it definitely feels more of like the walking area, and I need to kind of cut that off, instead of just making it seem like the buses can drive around that, because I felt like that's a little awkward. So I'll go and change that probably before next episode or in the middle of next episode. But what we're doing now is I'm actually setting up the bus station. So I love the prefabs that Planet Coaster gives us. I think they're really good starting, especially for somebody that doesn't have much experience in this game creating things from scratch. It's a really good way to start and being able to figure out how to edit this individual pieces, which is crazy to me that this is all individual pieces that you can take and move. So that's going to be a really fun thing to play around and kind of figure out on my own. But definitely, if y'all have suggestions on ways that I can improve things, definitely let me know. I'm always looking for ways to improve the park, ways to improve what I'm doing. Now, trying to get these lights is a pain in the butt. With all the wrought iron that they gave us, there's so much included all in one. And I'm still trying to figure out how to kind of do the selections and getting certain things. So there's a lot of accidental deleting and re-putting. But we're going to figure it out kind of as we go. This is definitely something I feel like I'm going to be back into, and I'm going to be uploading regularly on. I'm definitely at a point where this is possible. So wanted to just change this up a little bit, add those lights. I felt like this was a really cute little thing. I do love the illumination at night feature. So things that only light up at night, and I definitely am going to play with that. I am excited to make a parade also. That's probably my favorite feature, one of my favorite features, and just the game in general, and being able to do that now. So I'm really excited to kind of get that started. I'm definitely glad I'm starting now after that's come out, because I feel like you can adjust like your previous builds with it, but I think it's definitely going to be easier to start out and just create that as part of the kind of entrance, and then we can obviously come back and create the actual parade floats and all of that down the road. But I think I definitely am going to kind of build the parade path and make our town around that, our kind of entrance around that. So looking at what we're doing right now, I did get one side of this finished, so this is again another moment where I'm really struggling to make the selections and selecting the right things, but we're gonna figure it out. So I just kind of put the lights all around the outside, and then making sure that I have all of them selected, and then just duplicating and flipping it around. I wanted to kind of keep a cohesion on the way this looks. I think it's a really cute kind of bus stop. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put a roof on that or not. I have to look and see if there is any type of like glass cylinder or like half cylinder that will fit on that nicely. I don't want to throw something up there and it not look okay. But went ahead and put all of our buses so that way we can go ahead and kind of have those lined up. I definitely think I need to adjust. No, actually they look like decent spots. But this is where I said I feel like I need to just change that back path to the walking path look. I just feel like it looks a little off now. I don't really see a bus being able to get around there. But that is kind of our layout for the bus area. Obviously we need to go in and put some decor, put up some like bushes, put the benches, things like that. So definitely still a little bit of a work in progress, but I really wanted to create next this kind of central gazebo as kind of our main walking path. So they have these kind of outlines for a kind of pergola look. So just trying to get those outlined and put in the places that I really want them to. I was originally going to go up to past the kind of extra road area that we have, but I decided not to. So I pulled it back a little bit so that way it fits a little bit better into the spacing we had for the other two bus stops. But that's kind of where I'm probably going to go in and edit a little bit more on the spacing and just adjust it slightly. But finding a roof was a little difficult. I was trying to go with that small town look, but the roof that they have for that I just didn't really like. I didn't feel like it went well with just the wrought iron, so in a second we'll actually go look and find a different one that I feel like definitely suits it a little bit better. So I found this kind of green kind of worn tin, and I really like the color match. I feel like those two go really well together. And so I was like, this is the perfect roof to use here. So I'm gonna look. I do see that there's a curved one of like the green metal roof, so I'm gonna try to see if that's something we can put on top of the other ones. See if those kind of fit, but I'm not sure. I'll have to kind of check it out. Now roofs are not my forte. This is probably one of the hardest building things for me. I can never seem to get a roof to look right. It always comes out a little awkward, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna figure it out. I've just got to figure out like the spacing and the kind of rotation of the roof. And trying to get it to line up to the outline that we have. That's probably the hardest part that I'm dealing with right now. So we're gonna try and just get that all sorted out. Okay, so we got one kind of layer done on that. Trying to get this all selected so that way we can get it kind of put up. This isn't something we're gonna finish because I just struggled a little bit, and I was kind of already reaching the time I had at the moment of recording. So the idea is there. I've got to just kind of fine tune it and finish it. So that's probably going to be something we do next episode, is really kind of just finishing the roof on that. And then I'm going to try and see if I can find the roof for those. But then I really want to kind of jump into finishing kind of the entryway area. It's obviously something, like I said, we're going to have to come back to because of money. I don't want to use too much money in this scenario and then not have any to actually start the park. So that's definitely something. This is going to be a work in progress. But I think it's really good to have kind of the base built out, because it's going to be easier to add things on later on than trying to mold around an unfinished area. So that's gonna be kind of my theme for building this. I'm gonna kind of create baselines of what we want to do in an area, and then we can always come back to it and add things, change around. So I know this is kind of where it ends. So I really want to say thank y'all so much for joining. Like I said, this is definitely something we're gonna keep up with, coming back to. So as you can see, I really struggled with the roof, but we'll come back to it. So thank y'all so much for joining. Please drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all later.